Misfits, and welcome. We have a very different episode for you today. I have one of my lovely players, Bigler, with us, and we are talking about the Texas Renaissance Festival. So you just went, right?
Yes, I went on Sunday. This is the second to last weekend. Next weekend's the closing weekend when we're filming this right now. And our themed weekend was the Highland Fling. So a lot of Scottish outfits, a lot of men dressed up in some nice kilts, you
gotta
all of
have
that
a kilt.
fantastic
You've gotta have a kilt
stuff. And they had a special normally there's a big joust, but they had a special event for the Highland Fling of doing a whole bunch of the Highland Games. So it was very cool. Yes, it was super duper cool. We got to see
anybody like flip a log or something?
Yes, that was the thing that happened. It was fantastic. And we even had a one-armed flip that occurred.
One-armed flip?
Yes.
Like he chose to do one arm, or he only had one arm?
Chose to do one arm. Yes.
Both would be impressive.
Both would be impressive. It was. Like, after watching, because we had different teams. We had Germany, we had England, we had Scotland, we had whatever, right? And we were part of the Scots team, which was very cool, where we were sitting. And they all did a sort of like shot put type thing. And there was a guy and a girl for every team, so it was like really cool to get to see women do that. That was fantastic.
That was fun.
And then they had I can't remember what it was called, but the log throw, and everyone did it once with both of their hands. Some of them didn't get it all the way over, but a couple of them did, and it was fantastic. And then our guy did it with one arm. It was insane.
That's legit. Ridiculous. That's honestly ridiculous.
We were like, how is this possible? Like, in physics.
All of my knowledge about the Highland Games is from, do you remember that chick flick? I
don't watch
Man
this.
of Honor.
No.
Okay, well, the premise is this lady, instead of choosing a maid of honor, she picks her best guy friend. But of course they fall in love over the movie. But she was marrying this Scottish guy, and they did the Highland Games in the movie.
Oh, wow.
Patrick Dempsey was the guy. And I don't recall him being very good at the Highland Games. But, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. Okay, well, is the only other Ren Fair you've been to the Georgia one?
Yes.
Okay. So we will do a lot of comparison between the two then.
Definitely.
I guess, okay, up front, some business questions. How much does it cost to go to the Texas Ren Fair?
I genuinely don't remember what I paid, so
right?
Let's look it up.
I feel like Georgia is like $35 or something like that, but I don't know if that's accurate.
Let's look. Texas Renaissance Festival. Buy tickets. I was like, I'm paying it. I don't remember what I paid.
Right.
So if I were to buy, they're only like, well, let's see. Let me click into this.
They're only like $2,000.
Okay, so in advance tickets at $22. So if you pay at the gate, I guess it's a little more. Yeah, it's $27 plus fees.
A lot of people do that, where it costs more if you pay at the gate.
But it's $22 plus fees, probably tax, and like a $3 website thing or something. So probably about $30.
That's not bad. And this was a special year for the Texas Ren Fair, right?
50th anniversary, yes.
50th anniversary.
Which is pretty insane.
Did they do like extra stuff for that?
So they had their regular jousting series. They had 4 jousts throughout the day, and it was like a continuous storyline. But they said we only made it to the last 2 jousts based on we tried to see other events and other shows and stuff like that. But they said they were doing a special, I don't remember what sword it was called. It wasn't Excalibur, but it was like a special sword in the stone type thing for the 50th anniversary.
Interesting.
So
that's fun.
Yes.
That's awesome.
As part of that main storyline.
Oh, what was the parking situation, and not just the parking situation, but like the drive to where you park, because sometimes that is a thing at places.
Well, online it was like kind of, it said don't put it into your GPS because it won't get you there, but
nice.
Then it did.
Well, you know, GPS is constantly being updated, so maybe they're like, we need to account for the Ren fairs.
Maybe, yes. But yeah, we just put it in the GPS. It was about a 55-ish minute drive from where Audrey lives. So you know, we had an hour in the car there and an hour in the car back, but we left early enough that we beat the rush. We were in the first row of general parking, which was fantastic.
Whoa. All right.
And we only got there about 30 minutes early, so it wasn't insane. But they do have, you can pay for preferential parking.
Okay.
It's $25 to pay for a closer lot. And I think a lot of people did that because we then walked up to like the front and it was quite crowded already.
Yeah. Is parking far away from the front gate?
It was
like
about
parking?
Somewhere between a 5 and 10 minute walk, depending on your pace. It wasn't terrible.
Okay.
It's probably closer to 5 minutes. So not bad.
Tennessee, I feel like they definitely have like overflow lots at that one, and sometimes you're like across the street or something. You're like further away, but it's not like a terrible walk. But I don't know, different places do different things. And I know at some Ren fairs, like it'll be like a single road to where you park, and so traffic to get in and get out can be really bad.
Yes.
This
one, so I can't remember what highway it is. It doesn't, you know, I don't remember Texas highways anymore. But you get off the highway and it is one road, but it's not that far from the highway.
That's good.
And they were very, again, I don't know how, because like their big like people coming to the park time is like 11 to 2-ish, and we got there at 8:30. So
you were there early, yeah.
I don't really know like if parking got insane, and we also stayed. We like meandered our way out to avoid the big.
I was about to ask about like how leaving was, because I know we've had struggles at Georgia before.
Yes. We very much meandered to avoid that and had no issues getting
That's kind of the trick. Just like take your time leaving, and you'll generally miss the crowd.
Yeah, we just sat at the big arena and chatted and talked after the fireworks show. So.
Nice. So you got there early. So are there things that they do before like rope drop and stuff, or?
Yes, there was someone, I don't know if this was specifically for the Highland Fling weekend, but there was someone playing the bagpipes out front, and it was a little show. There wasn't like at the Georgia Ren Fair, there's like the whole scene where the king comes out and all of his court, and they didn't do that, but they did fire a cannon.
Hey, we like firing cannons. It
was quite loud.
No complaints there. Do they do the thing where like different acts kind of like promote themselves and you get like an idea of who's there, or not really?
See, I don't know if the bagpipe player was like the last of the acts. We showed up and only saw him.
That's fair. I don't know if they always do that. I don't remember them doing that really. I don't know. Did they do that for the fall thing? Or did they not?
No, they just previewed their Robin Hood theme.
Right.
For our weekend.
Whereas like summer or spring, like different people will come out and be like, hey, these things are happening.
Come see us. Yes.
So I guess they do different things. So just like the general layout of this Ren Fair. It's the biggest one in the country, I believe. So
when you walk in, there are people selling guidebooks like this. This is the 50th anniversary guidebook.
It's a whole book.
Thick. It's thick, and now you have to carry it around all day. But it very nicely has the entire schedule for the day.
Good Lord, look at that.
And then it also has a very big map.
Oh, it is pretty. It has a lake. There's a lake.
It does, yes.
Good grief. Pond.
That's right behind the arena. And then, so, yeah, if we zoom in on the lake. Ooh, there. Here's the arena. Ooh.
Oh, man.
which is where the big jousting and stuff occurred. It was
really cool.
About 4 or 5 times the size of the Georgia Ren Fair's jousting arena. And then they set up fireworks along this for the after show.
Okay, yeah. I have to go already. I'm convinced.
You need to join me next year.
Man, that's insane. They have a whole guidebook instead of just like, here's your 2-sided piece of paper with a map and a schedule.
And it has like all of the food offerings for all of the different food vendors. It has a list for all of the different clothing item vendors. It goes into everything, and it's got a ton of ads too. But
that's insane. Well, you got to pay for the book. You got that.
Correct.
It's not going to pay for itself.
£5, as they say, $5.
£5. Yes. My goodness. So it's a huge place. Yeah. Is it like easy to navigate? Are there like, aside from holding a map, are there signs, or do you just get lost?
There are some signs. Like, there were signs pointing to all of the different show locations.
Nice.
The arena and the like we saw the bird show, which was really fun. You know, so like there are some signposts
and some just wandering.
Yes. If we hadn't had the map, no,
it wouldn't have worked out.
It wouldn't have worked. Especially like, so from where we entered, the very first thing of the day for us was I had scheduled my Dragon Forge experience at 10:30. And so that gave us the doors open at 9. So that gave us an hour and a half to meander from the entrance over here all the way down to here.
Good God.
And
when does it close?
Almost. It closes at 9.
Wow. Yeah. 9 to 9.
Yeah. So it's 12 hours.
Dang. Yeah, that's very different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The last show happened at like, let me look. The fireworks were the last thing, and that happened at 7:50. And it was about a 20-minute fireworks show, and then you can meander all the way out. So I guess kind of an 8:30 closing, but they probably expect people to get out at 9.
That's insane. I mean, it seems like it would take that long just to get through everything.
Yes, yes.
This is an important question. What's the bathroom situation?
So much nicer than Georgia.
Really? Because Georgia's pretty nice.
This has actual full-time set bathrooms.
What?
And there are so many stalls in each bathroom. And like they have people that are just there to clean it all day. Like it, and they're scattered throughout the entire. I would literally go to the it would take 5 minutes to go to the bathroom.
This place isn't real. What you've described to me is not true.
I said to Audrey before we left, I was like, maybe we should stop at like a gas station bathroom before we get to the event. She goes, we don't need to do that. I said, what?
That's insane. Yeah. Like Georgia's isn't bad. They have like the nice bathroom trailers, and that's definitely a step up. Tennessee, you're roughing it in a classic porta potty. So like, I always stop at a nice gas station before going. Man, actual bathrooms. That's nice. Insane. I can't even imagine such a thing. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad I asked that question. Performers, acts, like
yes. So we saw, let me look. I made a list of what we saw. So we started, obviously, the morning we couldn't see any shows because I had like an hour-long forging experience. But at 12:30, we saw the Birds of Prey, which was like a bird show.
It was
very
good?
fun. It was good, yes.
Georgia has a bird show, and bless him. It's this old man, sweet old man, but it's probably all he does.
We were a little unlucky. Our actual like guy that normally does the bird show was sick. So his 2 assistants did the bird show. I wish I could have like seen him to review him, but they were fantastic. They had like 6 or 7 different birds that came out, including some vultures. It was pretty cool. And they would like fly over the audience to these posts in the back and then fly back and then up to their little like roosts or whatever. It was very fun.
Very nice.
And then at 2, we saw the Highland Fling in the arena, and that was just fantastic. But it was preceded by the costume contest. And yes.
Costume. Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome at that fair.
Yes, and it was pretty cool. And the winners every weekend get a free ticket to the next year's fair for a day. So, if you really go all in on your costume, you could pay for your fare every year.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I was actually going to ask, like, what the ratio is of people dressing up versus not dressing up.
I'd say it was about 70-30, 70 dressed up, 30 just in regular street clothes. It was definitely more than I was expecting in street clothes.
Right.
But Audrey was telling me she remembers the days back in high school when she would go with her family and like no one dressed up.
I feel like it's a newer thing, like at Ren fairs for people to dress up.
Yeah.
But I expected like more to be dressed up at Texas than Georgia. And then like there's a lot of people that go to Tennessee that don't dress up. There are plenty that do, but
yeah, there's this one guy in this entire night get up, and he was so tall, and it was just such a good costume. I was like, my dude, fantastic.
Man. I love it.
But yeah, the ones who won the costume contest specifically were all themed to the weekend. So if you go on the Highland Fling weekend, you'll want to dress up in that.
That makes sense. Because I feel like that would be
fairy.
That would be so hard to judge costumes like against each other, so it makes sense to stick to the theme.
Yes,
I get that. Okay, well this can lead into something that I know you did. What are some extra activities and opportunities offered at this particular fair that you enjoyed?
Yes. So the Texas Ren Fair has the Dragon Forge experience where you can forge yourself a knife or a
knife.
Sorry. A knife. Yes. There's a couple different knives that they offer. And then you can also forge yourself a wand. And that was so fantastic. We were, let me get the name of the dragon correct. So they have 6 different forging booths that you can go to, each with a different dragon with different lore. That's all up on their website. And our dragon was called Trogdor.
Trogdor?
Something like that. Yes. And it was a green dragon because of course it was.
You gotta have a green dragon.
I know. I literally, when I got assigned to the green dragon, I turned to Audrey, I was like, of course. And she was like, I don't understand.
Audience, a green dragon played a very important part in one of our D&D campaigns. So they hold some special sentimental value. More sentimental for me, more trauma for you.
Yeah, but it was a very fun experience. I actually got to hammer. The forge was really cool.
That's really cool.
And yes, we got a lot of help from the forger that was actually there, like watching us and stuff. But it was just such a really cool experience, and it wasn't too expensive. It depends on what you're doing,
right?
My wand experience was $50, and you prepaid $30, and then you paid the other $20 when you get there. And it was about an hour in the forge, so not bad at all.
Yeah. That's totally doable. I mean, given the amount of money people are typically prepared to dish out at a Ren fair, like $50.
And also you prepaid 30 of it, so it doesn't even exist in your Ren fair money.
It's already gone.
Yeah. But yeah, you have to pay the other 20 when you get there. There's not an option online to pay the full thing beforehand.
I gotcha.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Were there other things that like people could do at this fair? Other like activities or opportunities that you saw?
Obviously, there was the costume contest.
Right.
You could enter. There was a rock climbing wall where if you made it to the top, they gave you $30.
Well, yeah. I would do that. I would totally do that.
There were didn't they say something about a scavenger hunt, Audrey? there was a scavenger hunt, I guess, that was happening, but
that'd be fun.
We were so busy. It was yes. And there's a ton of games, they're pricey. That's another thing. Everything at the Texas Ren Fair was very pricey.
That's
compared to Georgia prices. Like everything.
I mean, it's a bigger fair. It's kind of like, you know, Disney World's more expensive than Six Flags. But yeah, man, how pricey are we talking?
Like, you know that the sausage on a stick at Georgia is like $7?
Yeah.
Try like $14.
14?
Yeah. And the swing was $7 a person. That wasn't bad. I feel like the swing in Georgia is like $5 a person.
Yeah, that's a little bit more similar.
But still, like all of the food was exorbitant. And this will go right into
I was going to ask about
very strongly on.
Oh yeah.
Everyone reviewed the coffee shop as being fantastic.
Uh-oh.
And we're here to say it was not. So bad.
Gasp.
Very pricey and very not good.
Well, describe this coffee shop to me.
It's like right at the front of the Ren Fair, and it looks really cute when you walk up. They had iced coffee and hot coffee and frozen coffee, and we both, because it was kind of hot, it was mid-afternoon at this point, we got the frozen coffee. No coffee in it. It tasted like whipped cream. Yeah. And it was like, we also got a bottle of water with it. And with the coffee and the bottle of water, it was $17.
Well, that is sad. That is a shame.
Yeah. So I would not recommend the coffee shop.
For this, you describing the coffee shop. So this is like a permanent location. So like there are real buildings and stuff that things are in, right?
Yes.
Are there still like pop-up tent things as well, or?
Yes, in the center, because the walkways are very big here.
That's nice.
So there's permanent buildings on all sides of the Ren Fair, and then in the middle they'll have like the pop-up face painting thing or the that sort of thing.
It's like a large scale Georgia.
Yes. And
nice.
I mean, the ring I got for my ring of teleportation was actually from one of the little center pop-up ones.
Very nice. I was gonna ask, we've talked about the price of the food, but like the food itself, good? Bad?
It was good. Except for the coffee. Except for the coffee.
Yeah. Coffee was a no-go.
We had, so Texas Ren Fair, I don't know if any other Ren Fair has this, I haven't researched it, but they have fried alligator.
That sounds like something, you probably could get it at the New Orleans one.
Yeah.
Which I really want to go to as well.
It was good. It was like chewy chicken.
That's where I had a gator burger once, and it was in Louisiana.
Yeah. But it was good. We got like a sausage sandwich that was very good. And then I got, oh my God, this was so fantastic at the end of the night. I got, the Texas Ren Fair is known for their potato products, and I got myself a baked potato. It was the brisket baked potato. Now, the worker said that the chicken and ranch one was better, but I'm not a big ranch girl. And the brisket is the best seller. That's what she said. So if you're a big ranch person, maybe get the chicken and ranch baked potato.
It sounds good. I think I would enjoy that.
Yeah, but the brisket one was fantastic. Oh my gosh. I couldn't, it was also very big. I think it was $14, but it was huge and I couldn't finish it.
Seems more worth the price.
Yes. If you don't eat a ton, you could split that with a friend easy and make your meal $7. So
that would be a good idea. Did you notice any, I mean, you weren't necessarily looking for it, but did you notice any like dietary accommodation type foods?
There were a lot of different options. There are some like actual restaurants you can go into there as well, and they have salads and stuff as options.
Real restaurants.
So, yes. Yeah. Man. There's definitely, if you have dietary restrictions, I believe you can find something. They also, like, if bread is your issue, like gluten or something, they also just have all their meat on a stick, you know, like so, you know.
Fighting the urge to make a joke.
I know.
I can do it. Be strong. Okay. I have some strong opinions. I don't know if I've necessarily shared it with you. Maybe I have. I have some very strong opinions about the quality of merchandise that vendors sell at Georgia. I think a lot of it is like stuff you can find on Amazon. Hot take. Mm-hmm. What were your thoughts about Texas?
There was definitely some of that still. I noticed like a couple shops had the same style of capes or the same like exact cape type things. But I felt a lot less of it simply because there were so many vendors. Like it was ridiculous. I don't think we walked into every store. Like, and we were there for 12 hours.
Man.
And so I think there was a lot less of it. A lot of it seemed actually very artisan made. There was a shop that sold like Lord of the Rings swords, which was really cool. It was a hobbit hole. A permanent hobbit hole.
That's so cute.
And a lot of the leather, they had a lot of like leather corset stores or leather bag stores that I don't remember seeing like comparative ones at Georgia, which makes me think they're not.
Yeah.
There was still some of it, but I do feel a very large majority of the vendors are not just doing that.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
That's good. I always get a little disappointed about Georgia. I feel like so much of it feels like stuff you can get somewhere else or somewhere online. Tennessee, weirdly, has some really good vendors that, like, I've never seen their stuff anywhere else.
Interesting.
But Texas is so big. I figured it, like, just sheer quantity, you're going to find stuff that's unique that you wouldn't necessarily find other places.
Right. A couple shout outs for really unique things. Audrey ended up purchasing, there was this lady that took real leaves and then made molds from the leaves and then cast them in metal. She's about to grab it for me so I can show it off. And then she makes it into a nice little necklace for you.
That's awesome.
So she does like leaves and acorns. Like,
oh, I love it. It's so pretty.
Pretty awesome.
Wow.
Big shout out. She's right towards the entrance on the right. And then other big shout out. Oh my gosh, there was this candle maker store that does like all of the ridiculous, like huge carved candles or like wedding candles and all of the like accoutrement that go with it.
Yeah.
Like ridiculous. We took some footage of them actively carving the candles. So like you can go in and see them dipping and carving.
Awesome.
It was awesome.
Videos of people like carving those candles, it's so satisfying.
I know. And they only have so long to do it. We literally were staring at the guy carving. We were like, "Oh my god, how are you doing this?"
In awe.
Yeah, it was pretty fantastic.
Okay, this is the big one. Tell me about the joust.
Oh, it was so good.
It was.
So we caught the third and fourth parts of the joust. We didn't see part 1 or 2, but the fact that there is an like ongoing storyline.
That's cool.
So we sat in the England section just by luck the first time we went. And the storyline is that our knight had been injured in the previous fight. And so his son had just been knighted to compete in his stead for him. And now he was squiring for his son. And they were all competing. And it was fantastic. The horses were so cute. Oh my god. They were legitimately so cute. And the arena is just huge. It is so much bigger than Georgia's.
Georgia's is really small. It's a very lackluster joust.
And they started with the like sticking your lance through the rings. They did just holding the rings. They did a couple like tosses as well.
Yeah.
And then they started fighting each other. And this was a 4-way joust.
Okay.
So there were 4 different sections and 4 different competitors competing against each other. And then at the end of it, it sort of became a brawl. They ended up knocked off their horses. And then when the king was like, "Oh my gosh, can we stop? This is so unsportsmanlike," you know, whatever. Um, it was Germany, I believe, the German, knight, cut the English knight on the face,
Oh,
and so,
no.
there was a glove dropped and a challenge to the death, set
Wonderful.
for the 4th joust,
Mm.
which then I was like, "Well, we were gonna go see the fire thrower, but now I have to see how this ends."
Yeah, you gotta finish the story.
So, we didn't go see the fire thrower at 5, but we were really excited. I wanted to see him, so maybe that would be something if I go back and he's still there,
Right.
I would make sure to see it earlier in the day,
Mhm.
type thing, because the joust happened at 5, and so was the last
Right.
show for him. So, um and then the 2nd joust started very similarly, and then but it was like a 2-on-2 type thing.
Mm,
So,
mhm.
we had, was it Spain, Audrey?
Sorry,
Oh,
confetti just rained down.
was it Spain? Who was it that partnered with so Spain and France. Oh, so it was actually Spain or France that maybe it was France that cut the English's
Mm.
cheek. I
That
don't
would make
remember.
sense.
It
France
was
and
France.
England
Okay, Audrey said it was France.
France and
Oh, yeah,
England
'cause
hate each
then
other.
then we all cheered, "Kill the French!" That was something we did. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, no.
Um, you're so right. You're so right, Audrey. Yeah, so we teamed up with Germany, actually. I got
Nice.
that wrong.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, and then that one turned into an actual all-out brawl, and that's when our English knight pulled the sword from the stone in the sword fight at the end.
That's
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, there was fake blood, there was, it was fantastic.
Gotta
It's
have
very
it
fun.
all. That's awesome. That sounds awesome. Yeah, and big arena that's
Mhm.
overlooking the water and stuff. That sounds
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, Georgia's is so small. Tennessee does a decent joust, and it's a
Mhm.
four-way joust.
Mm.
And then normally just whittles down and there's two at the end. Now, was your joust fixed, or like did the people that win legitimately earn the win?
Um, I mean, I do believe it was fixed, but, I don't know how to, like.
It didn't look like it. They earned their points.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Well, especially because, like, the joust ended up not really mattering in the end
Right.
for, like, the 3rd one where they were really competing
Yeah.
because France challenged us and we threw down the gloves, so, like, who actually
It
won
didn't
the joust
matter.
didn't
Right.
matter.
When
Um,
the last time me and Sarah went to the Tennessee one, our guy was Scotland,
mhm.
and he when he came out and introduced himself, he sang Loch Lomond, and it was great.
Mm,
And he
fantastic.
legitimately nailed like every event in the joust, and he was ahead. Like, if you're keeping track, he was winning, and then they
Right.
announced the points at the end to decide which two would face off against each other, and he had lost. And we're like, it's rigged. So we were
Mm.
like pretty
It
frustrated about that.
it wasn't a rig like that.
Hmm.
But there was clearly a storyline.
Right.
The joust wasn't as important as the
Well,
storyline.
and I can, disregard the points if you give me a good enough reason. And
Right.
they did not
Well,
give
and
me
it
that.
made sense. So, like, in the 3rd joust, the first one that we saw,
Hmm.
our guy technically actually lost the joust. And it made sense because he'd just been promoted to a knight.
Right.
These other knights had been fighting for much longer in the story,
Hmm.
right? And were fighting very dirty, like they already
Mm.
injured our new knight's father.
Right.
So, like, it made sense story-wise, and then when they were all in front of the king, that's when the challenge it didn't even matter that he lost the joust. Now there's a fight to the death.
Could you hear people decently during the joust stuff, or was the audio meh?
It wasn't bad. The mics went out a couple times, but
Yeah.
we also sat in the front row. We got there
Well, that's
early enough
nice.
to be in the very front row and had no issues. There weren't any audio issues, like, all day near as bad as some that we've seen at the Georgia
Right.
Ren Fair, um, but there were definitely a couple mic issues where the mic would just drop out, and that
Yeah.
it was very windy, um,
I
so
imagine it would just be really hard to mic
yeah.
people at these kinds of things.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
got to be difficult.
Also, had no issues with dust.
Oh, yes. I forgot to write that down in my list of like questions to ask.
It was very dusty, and we sat front row for 2 jousts, and I think my glasses really did help. So have some sort of eye protection,
My goodness.
everyone.
Yeah, audience, when we went to the Georgia Ren Fair this past spring, it was bad. You were so like
I was dead by the end of it.
I was leading you around like a seeing eye dog.
My eyes were so red and I was crying. It was awful.
It was so bad. Well, I'm glad it was much better this time.
Yes.
I don't know. Any other things that you can think of that you'd want to mention about the fair?
Let me think. It was very fun. I would recommend going in with more money than you think you need.
Yeah.
Because the food is extremely expensive there.
Yeah.
Audrey and I both didn't get any alcohol, but it was also quite expensive. There are a number of really cool pubs. There's a pirate pub that is like set up as a pirate ship, and they have like people playing rock music and like pirate shanties the whole time. They do a fantastic light show at night. Very cool. There's a gardens that you can walk through. That has a lot of little picturesque moments if you are perhaps looking for that. Yeah, it was very fun. We had a very relaxing day. The shows were top quality. They were very fun. And then at the end of the night, so before the fireworks show, there was this, what was it called? Solar Rain. Okay. And it was all of these, they had like this, it was about a 40-minute show maybe. And it was all of these people with fire batons or fire circles or fire ropes or fire.
That's fun.
Fantastic. And it's at the main arena. They turn out all the lights and the only light is from the fire.
That's cool.
It was so cool. So definitely if Solar Rain is ever at one of the fairs that you're going to, please check them out. They were fantastic.
That's really cool.
And then they ended with like a 20-minute fireworks show at the end of the night, which was very cool. Very Texan.
Nice. Awesome. Very Texan. Hey, it's always bigger in Texas.
Sure is
bigger in Texas. Well, this was lovely. I'm glad I got to hear about your experience and pick your brain. I got to get out there. I got to figure that out.
You should join me next year. Look, not to invite you to Audrey's, but her couch bed is big enough for both of us.
We'll work it out because this place sounds awesome. It's one of those like I've eyed for a while. It's just far away.
It is.
It's just far away.
That drive really sucked.
It sounded like it sucked. It sounded like it wasn't the best drive.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thank you for sharing your experiences. Always fun to hear your tales of adventure. Audience, if you enjoyed this video, if you liked it, feel free to like and subscribe. That stuff really helps out. More important, leave a comment down below. Have you been to the Texas Renaissance Festival? If you haven't, are you now gonna go? Or what's your local fair that you love attending? I'd love to hear about all of that. But with all of that said and done, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week, and I will see you again next time. Hey, 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 hey.
And you should very much join us. I told you I'm making this a yearly trip.
I gotta do it. I want to go to that one, and I want to go to New Orleans because that one's it's also a permanent location. It's like Georgia.
When is New Orleans?
It's also in the fall, I think. What if we hit it along the way?
We could maybe do that.
What if we do like a Ren Fair road trip, and we just hit them all along the way?
Let's see, weekends, 6 weekends, 6 themes, starting November 2nd through December 8th. So it's about half as long as the Texas Ren Fair, but it ends the same weekend, it looks like.
We could do it.
We'd have to take a Friday off from school to get to Louisiana.
Well, we could do... Yeah,
we'd have to do...
You know, there's a train. Well, actually, I don't know if it stops down where you are, but there's a train. Now, it would be really funny. Get on the train, dressed in your Ren Fair garb. Look, security on trains in the South, there's none. Non-existent. People are just bringing big, huge coolers of liquor with them. So I'm sure we could sneak a couple swords on a train. I don't think they'd care, honestly. Train's $25. Crazy. $50 round trip. Done. I feel like we could do that. Is it only open on weekends, the Texas?
Texas has Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So we would have to do like New Orleans Saturday, because New Orleans is just Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And then we'd have to drive Friday.
Man, we'd be dead.
We would be so dead. But then after Louisiana, we'd have to drive to Texas.
We would be so
dead. Another 5.5 hours. And then get up and do that all again.
When does New Orleans close? Like what are their hours? 5 p.m.
Oh, they close a lot sooner.
Yeah. Most of them aren't open at night.
So then we'd get here about 11 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then have to leave at 7:50 a.m.
Honestly,
I've done worse.
It's doable. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but it's doable. I'm a night owl anyway.
Well, you can drive the rest of the way that day. Then.
I like driving.
But yeah, we'd have to take that Friday off.
That's fine. I don't like school anyway.
Before Thanksgiving to make it happen.
I'm thinking about it.
Look, I'll think about it with you.
I'm thinking about it.